Hi everyone, Juan Finance here, and in this video we're going to have a recap on our stock trading strategy last week or as of September 25. So here we have our peso denominated stocks, and here we have our portfolio last September 18 and versus our September 25 portfolio. So here we have three stocks. We have AREIT, RCI, and Shell Philippines. And if we're going to look at here versus our previous average cost for RCI and Shell Philippines, we were able to grab an opportunity to add more shares. So we have here 113 versus 1.14, and then we have 17.13 versus 17.18. So about the fundamentals, again, AREIT, this is the first REIT of the Philippines, so we are very optimistic about this to hold. And our target price for the next year is around 28 to 29 pesos per share. Now for RCI, this is still undervalued, looking at its year-end price of 2.17. So its book value per share is 4 pesos. So this price of 1.15 is below its book value per share and the market cap versus enterprise value. So we are still very optimistic about RCI. So for Shell, we have here 32.80, the year-end price for 2019, and book value per share is 24. So now it's trading around 16, so it's way below its book value per share, market cap versus enterprise value. That would give us an idea that Shell is still undervalued at 16 pesos per share. So here we have AREIT. So again, we saw this catalyst last week that prompted AREIT to hit this volume here. But looking at its performance now, it's trading sideways. And if you're going to look at closer for an hourly time frame, this is our last four candles last week, and we ended up 25.55, and our buying price is actually at 26.30. So for RCI, we still have this very strong downtrend. Okay, and if you're going to look at these key levels here, these are very strong resistance, and if you're going to look at it, was actually respected I think more than five times, and we're also not getting that volume uptick here. If you're going to look at the hourly time frame, our last four candles last week was with very minimal volume, although we're seeing here an upward divergence and also upward bias for the RSI. So we are still very optimistic about this particular company. We're just waiting for a few catalysts from the market to help this price move up to its our targeted profit here at around 1.23, 1.24, which would give us around 7% upside. So for Shell Philippines, we have this downtrend for I think last July. So we're still seeing this one, and we're still looking at hope for retracement. And here we saw this one last week that San Miguel is actually eyeing to acquire Shell stake in Malampaya. So if this would be a go deal, then that would act as a catalyst for this stock to move a bit upside. Looking at the RSI in the MACD, they're really seeing here a bit of an upward bias, and we're also looking at here crossover for the MACD. So if the market would act positively here, we can see around 1 to around 4% upside next week, hopefully. So we go to our dollar denominated stocks. Now we don't have that, very attractive figures here because the indices last week traded almost like I think 2 or 3 negative days, or indices traded with negative figures for at least 2 consecutive days. So that's why we have here red figures as well, but we're able to cost average and buy more shares of GE and WBA. So for the fundamentals, we have your GE EPS 0.38, book value per share 3.85, price to book ratio of 2.12. Now looking at the market cap and enterprise value here, we can still say that a GE at 6 pesos per share is still trading below its intrinsic value. Now for WBA, we have EPS 0.82, book value per share is actually 23. Okay, and we have here PEG ratio sub 1. We have market cap 31 versus 48, so it's still undervalued at its current price. For AT&T, we have earnings per share 1.64, book value per share that's 24. That's very close to 28. Its prevailing price now. Market cap of 208 versus enterprise value of 375. So again, these companies are still undervalued. So for GE, looking at its trend here from, I think this is around April, so we can see that massive drop here, and now it's still having that downtrend. Now looking at the hourly time frame, we can see here that the RSI is moving sideways, and as well as the MACD. You can also see here that these key levels here are very, very strong support and resistance. So you can see here that it was respected several times for the support and as well as the resistance here. So we may consider cost averaging for GE and wait for the market to really push the price to test the next, let's say, I don't know if this 90 EMA would hold, but you can see here that the red candle is really having that, selling pressure. But let's see next week if it would test the 26-day EMA going up to the 52-day EMA. Now for AT&T, we have here again a very strong downtrend, and it's actually near its 52-week low. We have here RSI showing an indication of the sideways, and we also have here MACD, not so strong divergence from the signal line here, but that may give us a hint that the price would actually test a 26-day going up to 52-day EMA, looking at the buildup in volume here. Okay. Now for Walgreens, we have here still very strong downtrend. Okay, and if you're going to look at here, it's actually near its 52-day or 52-week low. And if you're going to zoom in, we have here I think a 2-day rally, and the RSI is still pushing to near 55. We have very strong upward convergence of the MACD and a very strong buildup in volume here last week. So we may consider, adding more positions here, or if not, if the price would test, let's say, or breach the 52-day EMA going to this portion here, then we may consider, you know, uh, profit taking partially. So the buy price that we have here is 36.4, and its prevailing price last week is around 35.53. So for our trade summary last week for our dollar, we have here, as indicated in our September 18 review, that we're going to profit take some of our positions in cryptocurrencies because the charts are actually not showing good trend anymore. So we have here, um, we also have some currencies here in commodities. We have gold, we have the AUD, we also have cryptocurrency here, uh, BCH and BTC. We have Ethereum here, and we also have close some of our positions in GE, AT&T, and WFC. So these are our actual gains, and although we have here one red figure coming from our BTC trade. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you learned something. Please do like the video, and if you want others to understand, kindly share this video. And if you need to know more, kindly subscribe so you won't miss any future videos that we're going to make. Thanks for dropping by.